Hey guys, so we're going to do a reading. Now, I know this reading is probably a little bit of, how do I put it? I don't think it's necessarily a distraction from the collective because it is impacting the collective. Don't think I'm not paying attention to important things. I'm going to sit and do another read that is important. I do want to look at like Europe and the energy crisis. And some kind of bigger things. I'm kind of sitting there. I told somebody I would look at that read, how that's going on. A lot of things are impacting the globe. I'm always very watchful. But sometimes, I do like to do that kind of, how do you put it? Maybe something's really impacting the collective. And for whatever reason, maybe there's something we want to kind of sort out. Well, what's real, what's true, what's not. And, but like Johnny Depp, I do not consider actually, though, the Johnny Depp case a distraction. I know some do. A lot of that because it was not only the case itself, but certain things with really, what the media originally did to Johnny Depp. I have a whole vid on that explaining why it's not a distraction. How they tried to manipulate, people to believe that Johnny Depp was this bad guy. And then, it was social media started kind of fact checking and doing their own kind of thing, had a different perspective, definitely. But, at the same time when the trial came out, we all saw with our own two eyes many things that certainly came to surface. But I read that case. I've got, quite a few videos on that. And I read it about a week before the trial started. And I kind of had a feel how that was going to go. But it looked like Johnny Depp was innocent and got a raw deal. So impacting the collective on a bigger scale, I would say it was an important case, not just for Johnny Depp, men and women and all that. The Me Too movement versus men being abused. Just like right now, Brendan Fraser is getting a lot of news. It's so good to see him back. I've always loved him. He is just, I don't know. Always loved him. Always loved him. I can't remember him by what School Ties when he was a teenager. I mean, I remember him way back then. And of course, George of the Jungle. I got the movie for my son so he could watch it. And we just loved that movie. It was so cute. It was so and my son's kind of enjoying the kids stuff, and I'm like just watching George of the Jungle, and everything while mom's sitting there. You're having a hard day at home taking care of kids, and it's just kind of nice to little eye candy. And he's just so, he's just so adorable. And I just, and of course the Mummy, and I even took my son to the Mummy. He was kind of young when I took him, I admit it, but he did have some nightmares about the Mummy. But we're learning how to be mothers. It's okay. But yeah, I've always loved him. But he suffered SA and he told his story about it. It does happen to men, and it shook him up. And also, he's been talking about some things over the years because he did kind of disappear from the limelight, also suffering a lot of physical, a beat down from all the physical exertion and the stunts that he did. And he's been healing and having a hard time. But it's just so wonderful to see him getting the, positive attention and love, and he deserves it. I really feel, some people have said he's so, underrated. I mean, for what he's done. And now I can hardly wait to see that movie, The Whale, when it comes out. I really want to see that movie. But just to see him and getting the love and the emotion on his face, and I just, oh my God, but I've always had a good feel. My eyes are watering even just thinking about it, but I've always had a good feel about him. But yeah, he's just, he's adorable. I just always really liked him. And that's why I kind of joked on my profile just a couple weeks ago. I said something like, he's the new Keanu Reeves, and one of my friends was like, don't do that, don't take away from Keanu. And I'm like, but no, he is kind of the new Keanu Reeves. He's getting that love, and that he's a good guy. Because it's hard to find good guys in Hollywood. But when there is a good guy, like Johnny Depp, he's not perfect, and we all are well aware he's not perfect. He's had issues, but there's something, good in him. there's something genuine. Like even one of the people who commented on one of my videos is somebody that I've actually known from Facebook before. Said there had been once an interaction in a bar. I think somebody had been rude or something, and she got upset about it. And Johnny Depp was actually the one who came over and wiped her tears and sat with her and consoled her. And so there's amazing stories that are out there about Johnny Depp. And you notice that when all this stuff happened with Amber Heard, not to rehash that old story, but when Amber Heard comes out with this story, see, this is the time that if he had been, with women, that there should be others coming forward. At least somebody lying, right? Nobody stepped forward saying that Johnny Depp had ever done anything to them. Not one woman. No one. Crickets. No one. And if anything, other, like Winona Ryder. And then, of course, and she did pop up in my reading. But, oh my God, the one model, Kate Moss. Oh my God, I was about to blank. But she popped up in the reading before she actually, the name got mentioned, and the lawyer, because I was like, a woman of the past, she's going to come in, she's going to say something, and it's going to be, something's going to happen. And it was the Queen of Pentacles. It was an Earth sign. And she is a Capricorn. So that was fun. That was a very exciting trial. But anyway, so there was an impact on the collective. There was a lot of issues. Yes, men, women. It's like Brendan Fraser is kind of shaking up the collective with his story that he was SA. He was assaulted. He groped and very violated. It's not just happening to women, and it's important, that thank God these stories are coming out. Ooh, I'm hot, but I know I can't change my clothes because I want to keep my neck covered. And okay, I'm going to try to bear through this, but this is what we're going to read on. There's so much about that. Adam Levine. I know this is something that I wasn't sure. I sat there, I saw it last night, but last night was surgery day, and I just kind of, I don't know. I wasn't sure if I wanted to bother with it. But now that Adam Levine has made a statement, then I do want to look at it. Now, I want to explain something, because if anybody ever wonders why I don't necessarily know the psychic answer right away before I do something, this is how I operate. Everybody, because I kind of feel something, but this is the reason. At least every reader is different, and of course I will have a, little self here hunch, okay? But when I'm about to kind of sit down, focus, and do my thing, that's when it's kind of like I'm plugging into higher self, which plugs into spirit. And that's something that I'm looking for. Pretty soon I think I want to start as a service, because I want to start helping people connect to their higher self, which is a long kind of thing, that I'll talk about later, maybe in a YouTube. But so before I, say I'm just sitting there, watch TV, it's just, I just got off work, and I see something, I'm sitting here as little self, and I'm kind of assessing what's going on. But when I kind of sit down, and it's like, now it's time to get to work, what I'm doing is I'm going to plug in to higher self and spirit, and that's what I'm going to really channel that message. So sometimes, are we always plugged in? Can I plug in at the grocery store? Yeah, sure. But it's always nice when I can sit here and kind of just, now I'm going to do it, kind of thing. So I can plug in. I can plug it in the car. I can plug in various things. But when I can sit there and kind of clear distractions, shut the mind off, kind of let everything kind of do its thing, and just let the spirit do the talking, it works better that way. So even though, like, why don't you know the answer why you sit and watch TV? And it's like, well, I kind of feel, but then also kind of look at the cards and everything just to confirm, things I'm feeling. But I like it. Of course, I like to do cards to show you guys. This is what we've got here. This is how, as a tarot reader, I'm going to interpret to give you that's kind of the evidence, versus just my flapping gums. And that's why a lot of people like to watch tarot readers, especially if they are tarot readers themselves, or if they follow tarot readers, which I know some people make comments, real psychics don't need cards. Watch my divination video. I talk all about it. It's something I can show people. And that's the reason why I really like tarot. I can sit here and talk to higher self and just, write stuff down channel. And you guys have seen me do that when I do keywords. But with cards, it's something that I can show my clients. I can show people on YouTube, you know, that, hey, I got the death card. It's, you know, it means this, or and so forth. So it's just something better, something to back up what Spirit's really trying to express. So kind of sitting here, I've got some feels, but there are times, you know, okay, now I'm plugged in, and now I'm kind of bringing in that info. And you never know. Sometimes, you know, you could get that shocker of information that you didn't expect. And so that's one of the things, you know, we're trying to be little self here, but we're channeling it as something. For example, Sylvia Brown, she had a spirit guide that gave her information. Same, you know, and could her spirit, I think, was it her spirit guide, Geraldine? I know she has a spirit guide. Hold on. So see, we all have our way of getting information. Let me save that for a minute. I've got that young lady. Let me just, what was the name of Sylvia Brown's spirit guide? Francine. So,
according to Wikipedia, Brown claimed to have observed heaven and angels. She also professed the ability to speak with a spirit guide.
Yeah, so see, when Sylvia Brown, who, and I know some people, is she real, is she not? I feel Sylvia Brown was real, but maybe towards the end, some things got a little challenging for her. The more kind of famous, you know, fame stuff can affect. But if you read her books, you know she's real. Let's put it that way. Very intelligent, knowing the other side. Her books were really good. Okay, I had doubts about her at times, but after reading some of her books and her information, and so I got to understand her a little bit more. But yeah, so Sylvia Brown, just to give things, so some people, they may have higher self, they may have a guide or something. She had Francine. Just like, you know, even Seth Speaks, you know, Jade Roberts had Seth. So everybody's got their way. Some people say they have an angel that gives them, but something that, you know, that is kind of plugged into spirit. Some people say they go direct source, but you could say I have a middleman. So if you want to, like, say if I'm sitting on the couch, why don't I exactly know the answer? Well, I've been sat down and plugged in, just like Sylvia Brown. Maybe before she has a reading, she's gonna kind of sit down and she's gonna you know, have that connection with Francine to get her information. But anyway, so as I sit there, I actually like to do it that way, because then I'm going to be open-minded also, and not let certain things get in the way that could mess up with really what we want to get to is the truth, right? Ultimately, we want the truth, the messages of spirit, and certain things to confirm. And of course, you know, some situations can come up in the everyday world that we will get that confirmation. Like this situation that's going on right now, as it stands, it is definitely a he said, she said, that there is an actual affair with Adam Levine and this Summer Stroud. And so it's definitely he said, she said. He obviously, as she has some receipts, he's saying he kind of behaved badly, and we'll talk about it. We'll get his quote in a minute. So everybody's got to kind of feel, but and they're probably leaning a little more on her than him, and it just and I think sometimes it depends how big of a fan they are of Adam Levine or not. You know, some people like him. They like him from maybe The Voice. They thought he was cool. Some people don't. You know, everybody's got to think. All that has to be wiped out of the way if we want to sit there and have an honest read. So let's start first with the situation. Let me get. Actually, no. Let me do my phone. Okay. So basically, it just happened yesterday that this young lady, Summer Stroud, she's an Instagram model, came out on pretty much on a TikTok, maybe on Instagram, but there's definitely a TikTok, and said, you know, that she had an affair with Adam Levine. She claims that, and I'm going to show you the whole video so you get her side, but she claims the reason why she came out is because somebody that she trusted with the information, who's supposed to be a friend, was caught trying to sell the info. Like maybe somebody came to her, you know, a reporter. Of course, you know, there are those that can do things like that. Now, is that, we're going to fact check that as well. Is that true? Or is she, hey, you know, I got receipts and I can get real popular and grow, and this could be my claim to fame. Okay, it does happen. And so I want to be open to that. Is this all a claim to fame, that maybe we had a conversation on chat, and it got a little, and you know, or and he was goofing around because we clearly got receipts, okay, or was there really an affair? Okay, so we're gonna look at all that. So let's kind of look at Adam Levine and possible affair. A whole lot of sketchiness going on. So let's just go to an. I would like to go to a decent. Okay, that's the article from a day ago. I guess they're all going to be kind of celebrity mags, aren't they? I know it's been in CNN though. I know it's been on CNN. And when it goes there, that's ridiculous. But what can you say? Perez Hilton is garbage. I won't even bother clicking that. Nope. Not even going to do that. Okay, so here we'll go to People. People is okay. So this is basically what's going on at the moment. He broke his silence today. So she went on TikTok. I'm going to show you the TikTok. He broke his silence today, and of course he's probably like, oh shit, because he is married to a very beautiful Victoria's Secret model, and they have a few kids. And I believe she might even be pregnant now. Adam Levine denies having an affair, but admits he crossed the line. This is in quotes after cheating accusation. Adam Levine and wife Bahati Prinsloo, hopefully I'm saying that right, as she's the Victoria's Secret model, who married in July 2014, are expecting their third child together. Okay, Adam Levine is breaking his silence after he was publicly accused of cheating on Bahati Prinsloo, his pregnant wife of 8 years. The Maroon 5 frontman, 43, posted to Instagram on Tuesday morning. And here is his quote. A lot is being said about me right now, and I want to clear the air. I used poor judgment in speaking with anyone other than my wife in any kind of flirtatious manner. I did not have an affair. Nevertheless, I crossed the line during a regrettable period in my life. Levine continued, in certain instances it became inappropriate. I have addressed that and taken proactive steps to remedy this with my family. My wife and my family is all I care about in this world. To be this naive and, well, if you can, why you tell another woman she's hot? You did do that. Okay? To be this naive and stupid enough to risk the only thing naive that truly matters to me was the greatest mistake I could ever make. I will never make it again. I take full responsibility. We will get through it, and we will get through it together. So that's a pretty heavy statement. The statement comes in response to a viral TikTok video shared by Instagram model Summer Stroh, in which she claimed to have had a year-long affair with Levine. Stroh did not provide the dates as to when the alleged relationship took place, but shared screenshots of apparent Instagram DMs from the musician. Hold on. Okay, there. Including a note from April after she claimed they stopped speaking, the month of April. And I'll show you her video versus repeat the quote. Stroh claimed that she had wanted to handle this privately, but felt forced to share the story on TikTok after a friend allegedly tried to sell the screenshots to a tabloid. Levine and Prinsloo, 34. Okay, so she's a little bit younger. Are parents and daughters. Dusty Rose, 6 this month, and Geo Grace, 4, and are expecting a third child. We're best friends and we have such similar interests, the Victoria's Secret model told the Zoe Report in April. We try, and I noticed she hasn't commented. I'm sure she will. I have a feeling she will, just something. We try to put each other first, so we get our alone time, but kids are crazy. Sounds like a typical mother. The couple first met after a mutual friend introduced them via email and grew their initial bond over a series. I bet she's beautiful, you know. Adam was looking for a girl for a music video that could do some action stuff, and our friend was like, you should meet Bahati because she's a total tomboy and down for anything. Prinsloo told Netta Porter, okay, we kept believing, okay, so we kind of get the idea. That's how they met. She's very, of course, she's very lovely and everything. And she's a Namibia board model. So, okay. So, you know, they're pretty, you know, they're serious. They got a marriage, and this is a big thing. All right. So that's Adam Levine, a little bit of his thing. He admits to, you know, some inappropriate, convo, but he's not admitting to a year-long affair, where Summer Stroh is pretty much saying they had an affair. So now I do have her TikTok here, and let's go ahead and check it out. Hold on, let's start it over. Let's see. Come on, TikTok. Okay, there we go.
So, essentially, I was having an affair with a man who's married to a Victoria's Secret model. At the time, I was young, I was naive, and I mean, quite frankly, I feel exploited. I wasn't in the scene like I am now, so I was definitely very easily manipulated. Maroon 5 is practically elevator music at this point, so I'm sure you know who Adam Levine is. But Adam and I were seeing each other for about a year after I stopped.
So she had some kind of receipts in there. Let's just kind of try to get back on that just a little bit.
Music at this point, so I'm sure you know who Adam Levine is.
Okay, pause. Whoops. If you would move your head so fast I could read, girl.
Elevator music at this point, so I'm sure you know who Adam Levine is. So
basically what the DM says, he's best. I don't know who reached out to who first, but I'm sure there's something cut off in there, and it says, "It is truly unreal how effing hot you are, like it blows my mind." And she said, "I mean, I think the same. Seeing you in person, I was like, I'm effed." So apparently there obviously had to have met up in person, okay? And he says, "You are 50 times hotter in person." So they clearly met up in person somehow. And so am I, ha ha ha. So he's joking, I'm hot too in person. And he's got little laugh emojis. And then she's like, yeah, and I can't really see all of it. And what is there, but yeah, we get the idea. Clearly she's showing that somehow they got, they met, communicated, and they met in person. Now, could they have met in person, had a little thing, or did it really go on a year? Let's go ahead and see, but that's what she's alleging. Let's see what the rest, what inquiry minds want to know.
But Adam and I were seeing each other for about a year. After I stopped talking to him over, a period of months, this is how he came back into my life. He said, "Okay, serious question. I'm having another baby, and if it's a boy, I really want to name it Sumner. You okay with that? Dead serious." I was like, I'm in hell. Like, I have to be in hell at this point. I mean, my morals were unknowingly compromised. I was completely manipulated. I wanted to handle this privately. I never wanted to come forward because obviously I know the implications that come with doing what I do, the way I do, and being an Instagram model. So being tied to a story like this, it's like, I know the stereotypes. I had sent some screenshots recklessly to a few friends I thought I trusted, and one of them had attempted to sell to a tabloid. So here I am. I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off because I've retaken this like 10 times now. Essentially,
okay. So that's a little bit her story. Okay, she's okay. Stop talking. Stop talking. Okay, hold on. We'll stop that. So that's a little bit of her story. She kind of showed the DM. So she probably, obviously if she's going to come out and make a big claim that she had an affair with Adam Levine, she's got to have some receipts, right? Or she could be anybody and nobody would care. But the fact that there's his name and there's a little checkbox and people can fake stuff, but it's, it's from his account. And he obviously is, while he's not getting into the whole thing, he's pretty much admitting he was out of line. But there's definitely, you could clearly see that DM is not just him jumping in there and saying, "Woo, you're hotter in person." So they definitely met in person. We could definitely assess that, did they go further? Did they have an affair? Well, if he's that hot, and then what's he meeting with her in person for? Okay, so, but we're just assessing, we'll assess it. But I just, if he wants to meet in person for however this all happens and have this conversation and talk about how incredibly hot she is and he's, the way he is, not following through with anything at least once, it would be kind of weird. Okay, so I'm just saying, let me just have a sip. you know. Now, there is a second video that she did. Let's go ahead and check it.
I just wanted to make a part 2. I feel like it's obviously necessary. Hindsight is 2020. I initially wanted to go in and talk about how remorseful I feel and how embarrassed and disgusted I am with myself, but I didn't want people to look at it and think like, oh, she's playing the victim. But in reality, it had the opposite effect. Something I now realize I didn't touch on enough was the fact that one of my friends had attempted to sell it, which I realized yesterday whenever they reached out to me for comment. And so I was completely frantic. That is why that video is, for one, just so all over the place, and two, why I didn't touch on some of the things that I initially would have liked. So in this video, I would like to address some of those things. I only came forward because I wanted to kill whatever story the tabloid had. The most important part that I did definitely gloss over is the fact that I was under the impression that their marriage was over. I believe that they were keeping it quiet to avoid the negative press because, as I had said, I was new to LA. So I just assumed that with celebrities of that caliber that that's just how it was. And that's why I feel exploited, because he knew I believed everything that he said because of my vulnerable position of being new to LA. Also, he was DMing me straight from his verified Instagram account. I didn't have any reason to further question it. But I now realize that that was likely a manipulation tactic of his, just hiding in plain sight.
Yep.
As soon as I had realized that was not the case, I had cut things off with him. In retrospect, I wish I would have questioned things more. I wish I wasn't so naive, but, being naive is not an excuse for what I did in the role I played in this. Again, in no way was I trying to gain sympathy, and I fully realize I'm not the victim in this. I'm not the one who's really getting hurt here. It's Beati and her children, and for that, I'm so, so sorry. I just wanted to make a part 2.
So that's, she, for the most part, my vibe, when I listened to her, I do kind of want to say, it is kind of weird at the moment that, she's coming out there right now. Is there really somebody that was going to sell it? And she wanted to beat the tabloid to the story. Was showing DM. I could see that could maybe force her hand. But I just want to say, I know she's young, but she's, how do I put it this way? I know she's kind of saying I'm naive and vulnerable, and that I don't think she's that naive and vulnerable. Just overall, I know women can be, absolutely. Always a big sty, and maybe with certain ways of, he's 43 years old. He's been around the block. He's, I know women can, and definitely women can fall for certain stories. My marriage is almost over. Things are a little different. There's a lot of money involved. We're just kind of, I know, that people can be duped. But at the same time, I just something makes me feel that she's not as naive. I'm new to LA. You have to still know a little something about, maybe kind of the way celebrities could be, the way things, can be and so forth, the way men can be. I'm sure he is not the only married man that has ever messaged her. She has to know a little bit about this. Or if, when you're pretty like that and you're an Instagram model, there are people that are going to want to message you. They're, or you go out, you're going to get attention. I'm sure he's not the only married man who's ever messaged her. Okay, so there's a certain kind of heightened sense that a woman kind of has to have, and really they can understand men maybe a little bit better than others may realize. And there's just a thing, that just I just feel that she's not as naive. That I guess it's just, I'm not saying she's an expert on men, don't get me wrong, or she can't be fooled necessarily, but I just the naive and vulnerable, I don't feel she's as naive and vulnerable as she says. I'm not putting any blame. He's the bad guy. We always want to put the blame where it goes, though. which is the one who's married, who does these things. And but at the same time, things happen. I try not to be too heavily judgmental always in all cases. In that some, but this would be one of those. I can be, I guess, in that there are cases where maybe somebody is in a very loveless marriage and getting out, it happens, and maybe getting out is not so easy. I know sometimes it's not always a cut and dry situation. Just like I've read for people who they may be, I've read for people that are having an affair. Or they're seeing a married man. So I try there. Every story is not always a straight same thing. But this situation, of course, is probably one of those that he's, one woman is not enough, because he's clearly got, a model for and a wife and a mother of children, and so there could be no excuse, here why really he's looking around to play, other than he's being some kind of playboy. It's kind of looking like that. And so it's unfortunate, but I know how everybody kind of jumps in there. But I'm just saying, there's a little bit there that she's kind of played it. I'm not saying I'm a victim. She knows, don't play victim, don't play. She knows well enough, because people will come at her with that. But she is kind of played. I was a little naive to LA. I didn't understand how it all worked. I know she does not want to get, ruin her own career. I see that's one of the things I do kind of look at as well. I know some people, her followers went up. Absolutely. People want to know what's going on. It could give her attention where she gets followers and all that stuff. True. But at the same time, sometimes, the attention might not be good. In the sense that a lot of people can hate you and things. It's a high risk thing for her. In a way, it is kind of a high risk thing for her to come out with this story. So I look at that as well. How it will go. If somebody is doing it because they want followers on Instagram and to get famous, sure, that can happen, but it could also happen in a negative way. So it's kind of a complex thing. But let's, as we kind of looked at her video, and we got a little bit of Adam Levine's side, we're just going to kind of sit with it, and let's get to it. Let's get to the reading. So what we want to know is, did he have an affair? Is everything she's saying true? Or did they just kind of meet up in person? What, have drinks, flirt, and nothing happened? Let's kind of check it out. But meeting in person is kind of a thing versus kind of flirting on DMs, and anybody... I've got 2 decks here. We're going to choose which one Spirit wants me to use. Now, this is my very common relationship deck. But this is also the Light Seer's Tarot. I kind of put it as an option. And then I've got a pendulum to let the Spirit decide which deck to use. But yeah, we're just going to, let's just stop talking and let's let the Spirit talk. I will connect the higher self, which is connect the source. Am I connected? Show me yes. Show me no. Show me maybe. Which deck do you want to use? Okay, so it is going to go to my regular, good old-fashioned relationship deck. Okay, and I kind of felt it could, but I just wanted to be on the safe side, throw it in alternative deck, just in case Spirit wants to talk with a different deck. So now we're going to get to the good stuff, and we're going to see if there was a little something going on. For example, she did say this, and let me kind of put you guys back a little bit so we got plenty of room. She did say this relationship went on for about a year. Okay, so we're going to kind of check it out. Let me just touch that to make sure we don't close down. Okay, so let's kind of see what we've got. Okay, so 8 of Pentacles in the reverse position. One of the things that can be, it is Sun in Virgo, and we are in Virgo month, true. But that could also be about work, employment, things like that, mastering craft and all that stuff. My very first thought, is, and I know we're looking at an affair situation, but even for both people, him as well as her, I kind of feel there is a big thing with either of them is how is this going to impact their work, their livelihood. This is one of the big things. Now, I know, of course, Adam Levine would be concerned about his relationship, but also, one of the things, how will this, I'm a musician. What if nobody wants to buy my music? What if everybody hates me, right? What if I don't know, is he doing the voice anymore? I think he's done with that. And she's probably thinking, how will this affect me as a model if I come out with this, with this, this could affect me negatively. So one of the things Spirit's kind of saying is, the work aspect situation there is something to be considered on both sides. This is really, to me, it's not necessarily a good thing for either of them. What is the opposing card? Let's see. We've got the Prince of Wands. Okay, so the Prince of Wands energy, that makes me feel Adam Levine. Definitely some, with that fire, sometimes, passion, lust, could have a little bit of that energy there, and that's what we're kind of looking at. Sometimes that fire, sexual energy, libido, that's what we're kind of looking at, that could impact, especially his work situation. He's thinking about that. Definitely, though, he's thinking about his work, his livelihood, his business, and everything. So let's kind of look at the foundation. And now this also, when I do a Celtic cross, can also be things hidden. Okay? So we're going to look at it not only foundation, but in a hidden area. So what is some things there? Let's kind of go ahead and look. Okay, so one of the things, if you kind of look at there, we've got the Six of Cups. That can be children, childhood, past, nostalgia. Now we do have a Prince of Pentacles. I believe they're about to have a boy, is what we have. So that kind of makes me feel, I believe it's reversing because child is not here yet. So this is what I feel that the male energy is. So I've got this children, we've got a son on the way. This is kind of a big thing going on. So let's kind of look at what's overlapping all that. Eight of Cups in the reverse position. That can be the walking away card. Woo, woo, woo. Here we go. Okay, but it is reversed. So there is definitely, looking at this, I've got, children, family, what of the things we know, we have, the one, model wife, if I say Bahidi, and there is definitely what he, kind of keep him back, even though he says we're going to do this together. It is reversed in the sense, that she's, probably at the moment not going to walk away, from the situation, from the marriage. But to still have that energy laying kind of here, okay, it's his fear. Yes, okay, it's his fear, especially with a son on the way, children, family, and so forth. But and very often, I would say the Rider Waite does it. It shows the man walking away. But I've definitely, there are other decks that show women walking away. But definitely there is something there that there is a fear of that. Okay, something may have popped up, been said, something. So to lie in this situation, I'm not there yet. But it would be something. He doesn't want her to walk away for sure. But there is something popping up. Let's kind of look at that. And the Knight of Swords in the reverse position. Now, it is reversed, which sometimes can lessen it, but sometimes expecting the worst. Fear, sleepless nights, some kind of thing. It is in the reversal that maybe they can get past this energy, and stuff, but definitely some kind of, fear, some worry, expecting the worst kind of energy. But also, could this be a little bit of her? In the sense that this is also giving her sleepless nights as well. Okay, not only him, but maybe a little bit of her, and stuff, and him trying to say no, and try to talk her into it, and take away maybe some fears and worry that this actually happened. Okay, so there's a little bit of that going on. But there is definitely at least trying to stop from walking away energy there. Okay, now let's go into the past position. That's what we want to see. That's what's going on. Where it is. Let's see if Summer pops up with a card. Let's kind of see. Okay, so the Magician reversed. When we kind of see that can be somebody who's being a trickster, dishonest. That can be, popping up in there. Okay, they can be a trickster in this. They're being tricky, kind of sneaky kind of stuff. It is a major arcana, kind of going into their desires, absolutely, and stuff. Now we've got that King of Pentacles energy that is popping up in there. Obviously, one of the things, then we're looking at maybe because some kind of wealth kind of energy, popping up that, he's got that and everything. And then the World, this is, kind of just, all this, getting all over the world. Absolutely. Let's kind of see there. Two of Pentacles can be juggling. If anybody watches my little short, it makes me feel he was juggling a couple of things here. The King of Pentacles is doing some juggling. Okay. And we've got some dishonesty popping up in there and stuff. But I've also got that Five of Wands reverse kind of energy. Now, I know that could be sometimes issues. It can be conflict, but it also can be comparison, competition, things like that as well. Let's kind of go and leave it at that. I don't want to pull too many of the past. Let's see what we've got there. Okay, now Six of Pentacles is about giving to the beggars. It can be gifts of money. I will go ahead and say that this summer is telling the truth in the sense that somebody was about to get paid for this whole fiasco. Okay, that is true, and so that is at the Crown. Her story is true. That it looks like somebody did in fact go to somebody. One of those ragbags or whatever with the story and stuff. They were wanting to get paid, paying the beggars, and we've got that strength card. And stuff. Kind of had to sit next to that. She's trying to be strong, stand in power, and be like, I gotta take care of this. I gotta take care of this because this could, I'm not gonna let this story take me down, and everything, So I understand that. Let's kind of go ahead and look at some things. Just a little bit of energy kind of coming in here. The devil. Yeah, we got some devil energy. So we've got, really, when we kind of look at that energy, the devil chains the lovers, giving into temptation, desires, and all that. It looks like there's something going on with that. Okay, like we said, we've got some kind of juggling here. Okay, with the Two of Pentacles. We're going to look at her section: feelings, attitudes, emotions. So one of the things she talks about, Three of Wands reverse, that whole traveling to LA, kind of just entering LA, and it is a reversal. But yeah, your ship come in, moment arrives. She's trying to have her claim to fame. It hasn't quite happened yet, but that's kind of, where she's at. I don't necessarily see that she feels that he was her ticket per se. I do have the Queen of Pentacles reverse. This makes me feel, for the most part, with the reversal and everything, that I'm not necessarily feeling that she's all in this for money or anything with that stuff. If anything, I feel that as she, like I said, the Six of Pentacles is popping up. That gives me at least some authenticity to her story, that somebody was going to sell the story. Okay, somebody wanted to get paid. I do believe that is 100% true. So I get in a sense here that it's not about that. If she wanted to get money, she could have broke this out earlier, right? A long time ago and everything. So getting paid for this story doesn't seem to be her intent. Queen of Pentacles reverse, I'm just getting a vibe that that's not necessarily her thing. Let's kind of go ahead and look in there. Now, Seven of Cups, it can be about kind of illusions. Definitely little bits of casting illusions, and kind of maybe falling into, little bits of fantasy. The dream. I could also even fall in a little bit of castles built on the sand, kind of attaching to maybe some kind of a love situation that really is nothing impermanent and things like that. Kind of captivated a little bit. Now let's kind of go and look at Adam Levine. We're going to look at his section, right? This is what he's going to be. Oh, we got the Hierophant reversed. Okay, so one of the things is the Hierophant yokes the lovers together in union, and he can also pull them apart. Now, when the Hierophant reverses for me, that is normally my symbol that, Spirit does not approve of the union. That is a marital symbol. It is reversing. And when it reverses for me, it could be affairs, could be one of them that the Hierophant is not approving, or it could be, kind of lying, deception, abuse, situations like that. So there definitely is something there. I'm not saying necessarily that they will get divorced immediately, because we do have the walking away has been stalled. But there's definitely something there that the Hierophant is not liking what is going on in his marriage, definitely. Let's kind of go ahead and look, see what we've got to say. And then the Seven of Wands in the reverse position, that can be kind of the stand up, stand your ground. He did come out with a statement, but notice it is reversing. He's, being confrontational, not necessarily. But, it looks like also with the reversal, maybe holding back everything. And the Empress. Now, the woman he really loves is his wife. The one, Bahidi. She is also the mother of his children. The Empress can be the mother of Piero. So I do believe one thing. I do believe he loves his wife. He's he definitely has done things that the Hierophant does not approve of. And also we got that devil energy falling into temptation, clearly. Hopes and fears, let's kind of go ahead and see. Queen of Swords reverse, in the sense that, I would say more information coming out and things like that, and everything. Maybe the Queen of Swords is not necessarily so diplomatic. What is the outcome? Three of Pentacles reverse. Okay. All right. So Three of Pentacles reverse, that can be symbolic of partnerships or business partnerships or things like that going apart, things like that. Now, also, I do want to say that Three of Pentacles also can be symbolic of friends with benefits type of energy as well. When I've done readings, because there could be a partnership, hey, we have an agreement, things like that. There is a reversal on that. But this is more in outcome area energy and so forth. But it could be symbolic. Spirit is also saying, hey, this is more of a friends with benefits. This does make me feel, though, also as it is an outcome energy, that for the most part, I'm hoping that Adam Levine has learned his lesson. If for all intents and purposes, how I get there, I do got some devil energy, okay, which can be falling into temptation, and various things, doing that. Hierophant is not approving, certain things going in the marriage, there is pulling the lovers apart, not approving of the union. Two of Pentacles can be juggling a couple things here. Magician definitely can be some kind of lies, deception. Somebody being tricky, a little bit sneaky. So far energy, though, it does make me feel there's some energy there, that there is something happen. As far as going on for a year, I'm not necessarily getting that. But let's go ahead and look at something. That's the only thing I'm not getting a confirmation on necessarily is time. I do believe her story 100% that somebody was going to sell it to tabloids. So let's kind of go ahead and look here. Okay, we're going into Libra month, so a lot of changes are going to be coming up for him, because we're about to go into Libra and everything. And Libra sometimes justice and everything, that's karma and stuff. I rolled 2 7s, so I'm actually feeling it is possible that something could maybe have carried maybe a 7-month range of some kind of interaction, just kind of feeling maybe. That's kind of more what we're looking at. So just something I feel, because I've got 2 7s. I could technically add them together, but I don't think that. I think it's maybe a 7-month range here is kind of what I'm feeling. Let's go ahead. I do want to look at something here as I pulled you guys out. But I'm definitely feeling that something happened, but I'm not necessarily getting a year type of thing here. So I don't often do Oracle on my YouTubes, but reconciliation. So it does make me feel there might be within the home a little parting, go sleep on the couch, Adam energy, but it looks like him and his wife should mend fences here. Reconciliation immediately and stuff. So it makes me feel she may have put him in the doghouse for a little bit. She knows a little bit more than what's going on or what is being revealed. There you go. Okay, deception. So he's definitely not being honest with his side. I don't feel she's being deceptive. I feel there's something going on. The relationship might be a little bit shorter than implied. It might be a little less than a year. Might be a little less. But I do feel, I also, considering I'm getting the reconciliation card, that makes me feel there's a little wedge. Remember, the Hierophant is pulling the lovers apart. Okay, wifey at home is not happy. There is deception in there. I also get past life relationship. So that could be also, even with the, with both women, it is a possibility. And let's kind of go and see and stuff. But also, one of the things I get the card very soon, that kind of makes me feel so that some things could be coming very soon. Maybe more news, information that maybe blows the lid off of some of this stuff. Let's go ahead and see. Yeah, he was definitely flirting. He's starting something and everything. But I've also got the card let go, control issues, and that's really, she would do best to try not to control the narrative or him as well and stuff, but really his wife is his soulmate. I do see that and stuff. So Yep, deception, we got that. He's going to reconcile and everything. He was flirting. But they also met in person. Something happened. There was definitely something, some back and forth energy going on. And it is kind of weird. Why would he reach out to this lady and say, "I'd like to meet my son Summer"? Is that kind of fucking weird? You know, and that he's even saying, you know, that's kind of tacky and weird, and she's got to be kind of blown away. And it could be, you know, that kind of, you know, I know some people could go, well, maybe that triggered her. Maybe she thought, let's hell with him. And so, no, I do, like I said, Six of Pentacles, I do believe that there is some authenticity to the story. Somebody was going to sell the story. She's being honest about that. But so far, there definitely is a wifey at home, like I said, Eight of Cups reversed. Definitely walking away, you know, we would look at the disaster of the energy, you know, with that as well. But he loves his wife. He does ultimately love his wife, but he's being a dumbass. He's being a dumbass. And you know, the thing is, God, appreciate what you got, man. You know, because I know there are men out there who have seen his wife and are like, you know what, if she was my wife, I would not be, you know, I would not be messaging other girls. You know, there's a lot of men who, you know, if he don't want her, there's a lot of men who'll pick up where he left off. Just saying, you know, and you know, it's just very foolish. So yeah, so there's, you know, just a little, that's the only thing. I think that I feel like the relationship might be just a little bit shorter. I'm not necessarily getting, I don't get any love in this connection. That's what, you didn't see cups, you didn't see, if anything, you know, the Empress, that's the apple of his eye kind of energy. I get zero love. You know, I do got a little Prince of Wands energy in there, but definitely I do get a focus on right now. He is very focused. You know, yes, relationship too. That is also an 8, but career, and she's kind of thinking of, you know, her own reputation. I could understand that, because if somebody's going to come out and sell a story, what if people, oh, she's all bad, and everybody looks at her like she's, you know, a very bad person. So if she would also, yes, I guess then have to kind of come out and share her story, you know, that could kind of lessen the blow against her for being the other woman, because we know how people can feel at times about the other woman, especially if it triggers any woman who's been in this situation and so forth, and everything. But ultimately, the way I see it, and ladies, if you've ever, you know, had this happen to you, you know, where someone, and I know there has to be some people that may see this that have been, and I'm one of them. You know, I've learned definitely over time, don't blame these other women when it comes to affairs. At least most of the time. I mean, there are some cases, there are some exceptional cases where some, you know, maybe women really try to lure that man. I mean, there are some cases, but the majority of the time, it's them they were looking, or they did, you know, whatever. It's all in their hands whether they fall into this or not. You know, start a thing or not. It's up to the one with the ring on their finger. Be it men or women. You know, ultimately it's them. You know, and like I said though, but there are some weird exceptions. Sometimes somebody is just manipulating and trying to lure and all this weird stuff. It happens. Okay, it happens. But there's still, no matter what, once you give in to the temptation, that's it. But definitely, we got little devil. We got little magician reverse, which can be, you know, tricky. But I do get some casting illusions kind of energy with her. That she was kind of casting illusions. Or being cast illusions and manipulated in some various ways. But like I said, I don't feel, you know, she seems like a smart young lady. I don't feel she is that necessarily naive. You know, but I'm sure he probably sold her you know, we're not doing very good. We're gonna leave. You know, I'm sure that's the case, and it's looking like they're because, you know, other aspects of the story seem to be pretty genuine. With what she's saying. But like I said, as far as it being as maybe intense, or maybe a year, maybe just a little shorter, maybe a little less intense, there could be a little bit of ego on her end, and this is, by any means, I do not mean offense to this, in that, you know, no woman wants to be thought of that they were solely used for sex. That's what it comes down to. And I feel she really is having a hard time, accepting that like, wow, as far as whatever, I'm going to leave, I'm going to do this, so you're just great. And to kind of sit there and go, I was basically used for sex. That's a hard thing to accept. But that is what it comes down to. And so, hope you guys enjoyed my read. We'll kind of see how this plays out. Will Adam Levine, be a little bit more honest in things? I don't know. We'll see what happens.